What's up, everybody? Welcome on in, guys. Atlanta Falcons 2025 schedule and record predictions. Zach Kamikow, Riggs Tamburo. This show is powered by our friends over at Thomas Adams Apparel. Check out thomasadamsapparel.com for more information on them. A little bit, a later word from them coming in just a little bit. But my man, we got a great regular season schedule here for the Atlanta Falcons. A lot of question marks on this football team here. A lot of people thinking this is a playoff team. This is a deep run team. Michael Penix Jr. about to have a Jaden Daniels kind of year here. Or is he going to have a Caleb Williams kind of year here? Is he going to get the reins? Teams start to figure him out a little bit. And all of a sudden, it's not exactly what they thought it was going to be. Obviously, Kirk Cousins out of this one. Pretty official at this point. Yes, he's still on the depth chart, but he ain't playing no football anytime soon. So, my man, before we get going on week one, any thoughts on the whole Kirk Cousins, Michael Penix situation? Are they making the right move after paying Kirk all that money to just put him straight on the bench?
Absolutely. I think it's a right move. You take a veteran quarterback like that. Listen, you sit him down. You're not telling him he's going to be the starting quarterback. You're telling him up front what his role is going to be. It's like, hey, you're going to sit here. You may get some snaps here and there, but you're going to be able to – we're looking to guide this guy. We want you to turn him into what you were. You know, you're a veteran quarterback. You've been around the league for a while with Kirk Cousins, and he knows what he's doing out there. He's had his fair time out there, and now he's got to pass it on to the next generation and Michael Penix. And I think that's going to be a great year from him. I got high hopes for the Falcons this year. A lot of young guys out there, and I got high hopes for this Falcons team this year.
I like what you're saying. You know, I'm coming around a little bit. I was hard on this Atlanta Falcons team last year for all the people that tune in. I was considered a Kirk Cousins Falcons hater, and I was like, they're just not good. I mean, every game they won on some crazy last minute drive down the field, one play left, Drake London, 18-yard touchdown. And I was like, they're not that good. And all of a sudden, a couple things didn't break their way, and they kind of got exposed that they weren't that good of a football team. But I feel for Kirk. It is what it is, though.
Times, yeah.
Yep. MPJ takes over the reins here. But week number one, tough test to kick things off here. You are at home, at least, when Baker Mayfield and company come to town. By the way, folks, our Tampa Bay Buccaneers show also just dropped on our YouTube channel at The Sports Forum. You can go catch that one right now. But my man, Baker Mayfield, Michael Penix Jr. going down in Atlanta week one. Who walks away with an early dub?
Ooh, I think we're in for a real nail biter here. I got a close one. I think we're going to have two good teams going at it. Like I said before, I got high hopes for this Falcons team. It's a young team coming in, and Tampa Bay is pretty solid. You know, Baker Mayfield's really taken over. And, you know, we've seen some good things out of them, but especially with Penix coming back, you know, especially if Darnell Mooney's healthy. We saw a little injury with him the other day. We don't know the full extent on that, but I'm expecting big things. Guys like Drake London, Bijan Robinson, they've had, you know, a couple years under their belt. Michael Penix Jr. got 1 year under his belt. We saw good things from him last year. They're going to come out hot, and I think this is going to be a close game regardless, but I'm going to go in terms of playing at home. Going to give the Falcons a little bit of an advantage. I'm going to go Falcons here. I got a close one, maybe like a 17-14 in favor of Atlanta right here.
Low scoring, some offensive mistakes to kick things off. I kind of like what you're saying here. Like you mentioned,
maybe an interception or two.
I wanted to pull that depth chart up for you guys. Darnell Mooney, like Zach just mentioned, questionable at this current moment. Kyle Pitts, I mean, there's no Q next to his name, but there should be, because the rumor is he might not be an Atlanta Falcon when things get started here in just a few weeks. So who knows what's going to happen with Kyle Pitts. I don't think they make the mistake of letting this guy walk at this point, but hey, you never know. They could have paid him a long time ago, and instead we're going to get into some training camp. I'm not showing up till you pay me. Something like that's going to happen. So we'll see. But Drake London, Darnell Mooney, Ray McCloud, a very slept on wide receiver, in my opinion, big time threat on that quick slot or a deep ball. Bijan Robinson, one of the top running backs in the league, and the list goes on with these guys. So like you're saying, a lot of weapons here. I think Tampa Bay has their hands full. But the one thing is, we kind of see early in the season, defenses tend to play better early on. And I know you kind of alluded to that, 17-14-ish. Fair. I think you're probably right there. But then in that case, I want Todd Bowles. I want the team that's better defensively. It's going to bring the pressure relentlessly on Michael Penix Jr. before he kind of finds that rhythm. It's a tough one. It could be this like massive running game and he's dicing them up and they can't figure him out and blah, 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 blah. It could be that. But I'm just going to go the other way. I know on the Tampa show, I took Baker Mayfield to walk on the road and get a big-time early win. This one's going to be relatively close in my opinion. I actually don't know if it'll be this close, but I'm going to say it will be. I'm going Tampa Bay 24-20 in this one here. So I think maybe still on the under, depending what it is. But I think they can cross 20, and I'm really not all that confident that the Falcons really break 20 here in this game. So we'll see what happens. But all right, guys, one more look there at that depth chart for you before we get that schedule back up on the screen for you. But we are opposites to kick things off here. A little fun way to start this schedule prediction. Then week number 2, you're at home for your home opener at the Minnesota. I'm sorry, that first game was in Tampa Bay. My bad. Sorry, no, it was home. Duh. Oh, my gosh. At the Minnesota Vikings here in this one should be J.J. McCarthy's second game as a starter. So hopefully some of those early jitters are out, but he doesn't get much time to get those out because this is a Sunday night football game at 8:20 p.m. Eastern time on NBC. Really tough spot here for J.J. McCarthy. Young quarterbacks, my man. I mean, which guy thrives under the pressure?
I think that's what it boils down to, just like you said. I think on paper here, this favors Minnesota a lot. Playing at home, it's a hostile place to play in general, but now their home opener, first game on the road, Atlanta's coming in. I think it's a tough situation for Atlanta, but like you said, I find it hard to believe that J.J. McCarthy is going to be fully settled, and I'd like to see him like that. I think he's going to have a good year in the long run, but this early on, Sunday Night Football, like you said, the pressure might be getting into him a little bit. I don't know. This one's a toss-up for me. This one's pretty close. Yep. Yeah, I don't know. I want to favor the home team here, but I think there's going to be a lot of mistakes here. A lot of mistakes in this one.
Wow. Can I get a record or a score prediction here?
I'm going to take Minnesota here. I'm going to give Minnesota the win, and I'm going to go – I like Minnesota about – I'm going to say 28-24.
Man, I told you, we're holding off on the Minnesota Vikings show. We're trying to wait as long as we can to see a little bit of camp, a little bit more of J.J. McCarthy before we go all in on the guy. But I know that it kind of seems like at the sports forum in general, we're high on him. We have faith in him. We think he's a good quarterback. No, he's not some, just made all these easy throws in college, Harbaugh guy going to flop in the NFL. I don't really think that's him. But we see guys like Kirk Cousins, for example, who now he's older, but he comes off a pretty bad season-ending injury. And he comes back and he never really looks like he's comfortable. He's worried about getting hit, all these things. You factor the injury in with under the lights, and I just don't know here. I think it's going to be a lot of slop, a lot of interceptions, a couple fumbles, just some weird things here. But since I gave him a loss week 1, I'll give him a win here. But I think you and I are kind of both in the boat of they start 1-1. I think it's 0-2, 2-0, 1-1, none of which would be shocking, to be honest with you. But you got to find a way to at least split the first 2. So I'm going to go ahead and go with a Falcons win here. But I'll be honest with you, Zach, deep down, I like the Vikings in this game.
Yeah, this one's a toss-up for me. It really is.
All right, guys. Well,
sloppy football, yep.
1-1. You guys let us know what you guys are thinking. Do us a favor. Drop a comment. Click that subscribe button. Drop a like. We appreciate you guys as always. But week number 3, you finally maybe can take a breath here. It is a back-to-back road game, but it's on the road. Regular old midday window at the Carolina Panthers. Bryce Young, most likely, will be in at quarterback here in week 3 with this coaching staff. At this point, I don't even know. But basically, Bryce Young, Michael Penix Jr. starting to find a bit of a rhythm. 2 tough tests to kick things off here. Does he kind of have his first big game as a starter here?
I do think so. I mean, looking at the score from last year, they beat Carolina 38-20. And I think this year, Atlanta got only better. I think they only got better this year. And we haven't seen much work over there in Carolina. Bryce Young, young quarterback. He's a very fragile quarterback. I think he's tough. He's tough in the pocket to maintain his game. If he gets hit, he's kind of struggling the rest of the game. A lot of sacks, not very good pressure up front. And I favor Atlanta in this one. I think, like you said, I think this is going to be a big game for Michael Penix. I see a lot of yardage from the receivers. Drake London's stepping up especially. Mooney's healthy. I see a big game from him. Kyle Pitts is out there. I think all these guys could rack up some good yardage in this one. And I do like a high-scoring game here in Atlanta. I'll go score prediction-wise. I'll say I like somewhere in the 30s. I'm going to go 35-17 Atlanta.
35-17 Atlanta. Okay. I'm kind of leaning toward you. I agree. I think this is a 30-plus game for the Falcons. It's almost a letdown if it's not. I mean, if you can't even get 27, 27 here feels very doable. Now, I will say, I think the Carolina offense is a bit better than they're getting credit for. I think they're going to give some people a few problems. They have a few deep weapons. I think a guy like Leggett is going to have a good season, but at the end of the day, is it enough to get through the Falcons defense? Maybe not, but the Falcons defense, I mean, they made a few big moves in the offseason. They didn't re-sign a couple guys that, honestly, I was slightly surprised that they didn't re-sign. And I'm not fully convinced that this defense is going to be great. So I'm going to kind of join you here. What'd you say, 35-17?
Yes, that's where I was at.
I will go kind of right there with you, though. I'm going to go 31. I'll go 31-20. I'll give them 20 in this game for Carolina. But at the end of the day, they should not break 23, and the Falcons should not get to 27. So 27-23 at worst. But I agree with you, double-digit win here for the Atlanta Falcons. 2-1 for both of us through week 3, heading into week 4, which crazy bye week there in week 5. But week 4, you're back at home. Washington Commanders, big time game here. Do you fall and go to the bye 2-2 where you don't want to be, or do you find a way here to be 3-1 going into the bye? Things are going well. Penix is getting some momentum. Is this kind of, I don't want to say, is this a statement game, but it feels like a statement game if you can walk out here and beat Jaden Daniels.
I think it has to be for Atlanta. And, when we talked about Washington previously in the past shows, I think most of us had only good things to say about these guys. Like Jaden Daniels he's pretty solid back there. And what we've seen from his team the past couple of years, they're right there. And they're right there poking a Super Bowl. And I don't think they've gotten farther away this year by any means. But I do think it's going to be a tough contest for Atlanta. I think Atlanta's the underdog here. And my gut wants to say Washington, but I could see Atlanta pulling away with this one. I might go against my gut here and go Atlanta. I'd like to see them pull it off. I'm really rooting for them. I think they could have a good year this year, and if they get this win, this would be a huge win moving forward, especially for the rest of the season. I mean, Washington's a huge opponent. I'm going to take Atlanta in a 24-20 game here. 24-20, 24-21, somewhere around there.
Wow. Wow. I'm always pulling for a dog. And by dog, I mean Michael Penix Jr. And he's a dude that tends to step up in pretty big games. But I just don't think – I think he can have a great game here and they still lose the game because I think they're going to get 30-plus put up on him here. I'm going to go high scoring-ish. I'm going to go 35 – I'll go 35-31, and honestly, I think I'm being a little bit nice to Atlanta here. I got the Commanders walking away with a win here. It might come down to a field goal. It might be by 17, but I think either way, I do believe Jaden Daniels makes a couple more plays than Penix, and also I trust the Washington defense a little bit more than I do Atlanta. As much as they need this game, I guess that's why I'm respecting them here. They need it. They want it. They want momentum going into the bye. I just think they fall short. So 2-2 for me, 3-1 for you heading into that bye. And then like we mentioned, man, a week 5 bye, that's just a brutal spot for a bye. Yeah. I mean, young guys like Bijan, young guys like Michael Penix, they don't need a bye. I mean, it's just a bad spot for it. Then you got to go on this long run. They're not expected to be some number 1 seed team. Like, they're not going to get another break really until this is all said and done. So we'll see what happens. But a week 5 bye, then you get a big time test. I guess at least you get 2 weeks to prepare for this man. But Josh Allen is going to be your next opponent. And this is not a guy that you want to go up against, especially in a Monday Night Football game, 7:15 p.m. on ESPN. Now, at least you're at home in this game, off a 2-week bye. You got him beating Jaden Daniels. Does he beat Josh Allen?
I don't got this one now. I like the Bills here. I think the Bills are just too dominant. I mean, they got not only they got solid defense, but with that man at quarterback, I don't think the Falcons got it here. I think this is where they're going to find out where they're made of here, and Yeah, they're going to learn a lot. I think they're going to learn a lot in this game. I think Josh Allen's going to kind of run away with their defense because, like we've said, I don't think Atlanta's got a strong defense here. They have a solid defense, but I don't think it's strong and overpowering by any means. And especially this Buffalo offense. Yeah, I got the Bills taking this one. I got the Bills putting up a lot. I got like a 35-20, 35-21 range.
Ooh. Folks, I got nothing to add. 35-20. Buffalo Bills. That's it. I'm a Josh Allen guy. I'm not a Buffalo Bills fan, but I am a Josh Allen fan. And this dude plays football the way I like my football. He's hard-nosed. He takes chances. He'll run through you. He'll pass over you. He'll fit a window. Dude don't give a damn. And the thing about this one is I ain't calling him Patrick Mahomes, but you give the guy 13 seconds against the Falcons defense, and genuinely, I think he can get Tyler Bass within 60. And if Tyler Bass gets within 60, game, set, match, Buffalo Bills win. I don't even think it comes down to that. I agree with you about a 2-touchdown win here, but Buffalo Bills just a bit too much for Michael Penix and the Falcons here. But once again, I have them losing to Jaden Daniels, then going on a 2-week bye, then losing to Josh Allen. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Zach's right. Maybe he steals one of them. I think he needs to steal one of them if he wants to kind of start to really make a name for himself. I just don't think he's going to do it. But I guess we'll see what happens. Moving on through here, guys. Week number 7 at the San Francisco 49ers. They go from Monday Night Football to Sunday Night Football on the road. They are in desperate need at this point of a win. They haven't won a game, according to me, in a month, and according to you, in 3 weeks. It's time to get a win. Brock Purdy, one of the best quarterbacks out there, if you're talking money-wise. Then you got Christian McCaffrey, should be healthy here in week number 7. What's going to happen with the wide receivers? I don't know. George Kittle should be healthy. This is a tough spot here across the country in their house. Do they beat Brock Purdy?
This is a tough one. I think if this is a healthy San Francisco team, it's tough to beat anywhere, on the road, at home. But then you're going to San Francisco, and that's a tough place to go play. Their fans travel well, and their home games are tough. They're tough for any opponent. And Atlanta coming in there, I think that you've got a huge uphill battle to climb. Christian McCaffrey, I mean, he's one of the best in the league, no doubt about it. The dude's a monster with the run game. Brock Purdy, I mean, George Kittle, just like you guys said. I mean, these guys are dominant players all across the league, and I don't think the Falcons can match up to that. I just don't think they have it in them. I think we might see some pokes of good things here and there on offense by Penix, maybe some good things by the run game with Bijan, and I don't think we're going to get much more than that. I think it's going to be all San Francisco. It's going to be a very similar game to what we saw the week before in Buffalo. And that's what I'm riding with. I got like a 28-10 victory in favor of San Francisco.
I hate that I agree with you. I hate it because I got to give these guys a damn win. They got to win a football game. I mean, holy hell. Like, I don't have them win a game for 5 weeks, but I can't get there. I don't think they're going to beat Brock Purdy in them. And I know a lot of people are still off on the 49ers, and they won 6 games last year, and it's the same team as last year, and blah, 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 blah. First of all, you take Christian McCaffrey out the field, it ain't the same team. So let's not play with ourselves here.
Right.
That said, San Francisco on prime time, unless you're like literally the Seahawks or the Cardinals or someone like right there, that is a very tough place to go already. Then you go there in prime time. I just don't think they can stop him. I think Christian McCaffrey goes for 2+ in this game. I think George Kittle's scoring here. We're talking 8 catches, 96 yards. Like, this is just a big offensive game. Atlanta's going to have no answer. They might have moments, but I'm kind of there with you. I'm going to be insanely generous to the Falcons here, Zach. I'm going to go 27-20, but I agree with you. Okay. I think it's a bit more of a gap, but I got to at least say they're going to compete in a football game eventually. Yeah, there you go. Garbage time. So maybe 27-13, garbage time. Fine. I'm kind of right there with you. So
out there.
Good luck to you guys.
I can see that.
What a brutal brutal start here with this Washington bye early, Buffalo, San Fran. Well, at least things get a little bit easier. Week number 8, Sunday, October 26th, 1 o'clock, regular old game now. No more prime time. You got the Miami Dolphins coming to town. Tua is going to be, I assume, healthy at this point in the season. Tyreek Hill shouldn't be in prison yet. Things should be looking all right for the Miami Dolphins. Is this kind of the bounce back, get one right here, or could this Dolphins game once again be a pretty tough test?
I think it could go either way. I think it's, coming off of a couple past weeks here for Buffalo, and Miami's a team they should beat. I think they should beat them on paper, but they're not a bad team. They're a solid team. They got Tyreek Hill supposed to be, if he's there. They got some good guys on the offense over there. They've played some solid defense, but, the big question is if he's there, if Tua's healthy, these guys can be pretty good. And I think they could really give the Atlanta Falcons a run for the money. Now, I would like to see the Atlanta Falcons run away with it a little bit. I think they could win this one by maybe 2 possessions or so. But, yeah, I think this is one they need to win. And I'm gonna go with Atlanta here, but I kind of feel like they could give this one up a little bit, make it closer than what I'm going to say. But I got 24-14 Atlanta.
24-14 Atlanta. All right. I'm done. That's it. I agree with you. I'm not high on this Dolphins team this year. There's believers out there to this day. I'm not a believer in either of these teams, but I'm less of a believer in this Miami Dolphins team. They just are not a legitimate football team. I think McDaniel has got his job in big time danger here. Like, I'm just not convinced that this Miami team is even going to be a unit at this point in the season. And I know it's still early, but what are y'all looking at that you're so excited thinking this team's going to win 8-9 football games? I don't see it, and I don't think this is one of them. Finally, Michael Penix goes ahead, takes a breath, jogs off with a smile on his face. I'm going to go ahead and just switch it up just barely. I'm going to go 27-17 in this game. I think Tua has his moments, especially through the air, but that's really about it here in this game. But really quick, guys, a very quick word from our sponsor and our friends over at Thomas Adams Apparel, and we will be right back to the show here. See you guys in just a minute.
Are you someone that likes to keep it fun while also looking good on the golf course? Well, then you need to check out Thomas Adams Apparel. Thomas Adams Apparel co-founders Jacob and Grayson envisioned a brand that combined creativity, style, and a love for the game. The duo are dedicated to producing high-quality, stylish, and versatile products that golfers can both enjoy on the course and in everyday life. This summer is the perfect time to improve your look on the course while getting some affordable rounds of golfing with your buddies. Go check out thomasadamsapparel.com right now and grab some sweet new gear.
And we're back, guys. Once again, thomasadamsapparel.com. Those guys got some great new merch dropping for you right here, right now. Zach is repping it right now. You see how clean it is, and the new stuff they just dropped, it's even cleaner. So go ahead and go check it out. Use your email on the website. First order, 15% off for anybody and everybody. Nothing but great things to say about those guys. So make sure to check them out. But my man, we are moving on through here, getting to that halfway point in the season. Things are starting to get interesting. You got to start playing like a team. You got to start winning football games. Here we are now. That said, you got the New England Patriots. And this is a team that myself, Bryson, Zach, I'm not 100% sure how you feel about these guys, but we are pretty high on this Patriots team. We think they're going to shock a lot of people. Drake May in that second year got a few new weapons in the draft, made a couple off-season moves. I think this Patriots team, dare I say playoff run? Maybe I won't go that far, but I think they're going to win 7-8 games pretty easily here. So you go on the road to New England, November 2nd, maybe not cold yet, but a lot colder than where the Atlanta Falcons play. So my man, do they take down Drake May, or is this kind of a trap spot for the Atlanta Falcons here?
I like what you're saying about the Patriots. I do. I'm not going to say I'm insanely high on them, but I do think that we're going to see some good things out of there. A big question mark I'm looking at right now is seeing Stephon Diggs with the big Q by his name. Now, if we get some healthy guys out there, I think that, the Patriots could really put a run of money against the Atlanta Falcons here, but I think this is going to be a tough one. Either way, I think we might see an OT game here. I like both these teams a lot. This is a tough one for me. I might side with the Patriots here a little bit. I think the Falcons might get away with themselves a little bit coming off a Miami win. both you and I agree they should be up a little bit against Miami, and I think they may fall down a little bit. They might see a team that maybe matches their level a little bit and a little above them, and they kind of fall out a little bit. I'm going to take the Patriots here 24-20.
Damn. I think you nailed it. I think 24-20 is literally the exact score I had running through my head. Now, I'd also agree with you in the fact that it could be 24-20 either way. I think that this is a very winnable game for Atlanta. And I think if they're playing great and Michael Penix is moving well and Pitts is still here and Bijan's here, honestly, Atlanta's going to be the favorite here. I think they're going to be like a 2.5 point, 3-point favorite on the betting lines. Like, they are going to be picked to win the game. It just comes down to, can they get through the defense and can they stop Drake May? Now, obviously, a lot of that's going to come into play. What's Drake May going to do? But I feel like whichever team was home here, that's who I'd be picking. And so I'm going to join you 24-20, but I guess we'll kind of see the situation. This is also circled for me as a must-win game on my record prediction for the Atlanta Falcons. I think they need this one bad, and I just don't think they get it. But that's also because I'm not on Atlanta this year very high. So I'm going to go Patriots too, but honestly, this might just be the best back and forth competitive game we see of them throughout the season up to this point, is this game right here. So don't miss it, folks. Going to be a fun one. Very entertaining. By the way, sorry to all you Atlanta fans. I had to pull up the photo. If you know, you know. But we're moving on through here, man. We are getting through week number 9 and on to week number 10. Sunday, November 9th. We'll go ahead and scroll down for you guys here, get you a little bit of a better view of the schedule. We got the Indianapolis Colts, 9:30 a.m. I'm not sure where this game is. It's not Ireland. Berlin. Oh, there you go. Yeah. We got a Berlin game going down 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. This one on NFL Network and NFL Plus. Make sure you guys don't miss any of these games across seas, man. They're so much fun. Crazy things always happen in them. And Zach, one thing we know about these overseas games, the dogs tend to come barking, and the Colts are going to be the dog in this football game. Does Atlanta let another one slip?
I think the big thing for Atlanta here is controlling the run game. I think Jonathan Taylor is a big weapon in the backfield. And like you said, in this game, we've seen sometimes the teams that are supposed to win aren't always the teams coming out on top. The Colts are the underdog here in this one. I think they're going to rely on the run game a little bit. We got a neutral setting. We don't know how the field's going to play. We don't know anything like that. We don't know how the crowd's going to be. No sight of that. Each team's got a fair advantage coming into this one. And I think the Falcons might struggle a little bit. And I think the biggest thing for them is controlling Jonathan Taylor in the backfield. And if they can do that, I think the Falcons can get away with this one. I think they can poke around their defense a little bit and kind of expose Indianapolis a little bit. I think Penix can put up maybe a couple passing touchdowns here and there. Maybe Bijan get over 100 yards rushing-wise. I think we could see some good things from the offense. And I like maybe a 21-14 victory, Atlanta.
21-14 Atlanta. Man, I mean, I don't know if you've been paying attention to all this Colt crap, but they're back in that conversation. Is it going to be Anthony Richardson? He's the only AR I've ever seen that ain't a shooter, okay? This dude is not good at football. He doesn't throw the ball well. You could say he runs well, but not really. I mean, he runs when he's in a horrible panic and everyone's downfield and he doesn't know how to make the throw, so he just runs. Okay, sure. I've seen him make a couple aggressive runs. Outside of that, he should not be the starter. So if it's Anthony Richardson, I got kind of a smackdown here. I got about 28 or 31 to like 13 if it's him. But if it's Daniel Jones, who I think it should be and who I think it will be, then we got a tighter game here. I think Jones can use his legs really well here. He's a big body. He can get those 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, maybe even tush-push kind of plays here to try to go ahead and get the sticks. So we'll see what happens there. Like I said, overseas, weird things happen, but this is a young Michael Penix. This is a dude trying to make a name for himself. Is he going to beat the Josh Allens? I don't think so. But is he going to let overseas games Let's go by him all season long. I don't think so either. So I'm going to rock with you here. I'm going to go Michael Penix Jr. and the Falcons win. And I'll go ahead and go. Yeah, it's always weird scoring. I'm going to go like 22-16 Atlanta
22,
Falcons.
I like it.
Yeah, 22-16 Falcons.
22.
Oh, my God. I know. I already regret it, but just watch, bro. It's safeties, missed PATs, going for two. Weird things happen when you cross
that
the
is
water.
safety on the game.
Hey, what's it like 50-1 every game for a safety or something like that on some of the books?
That'd be a good one. So, I like it. That'd be a good one.
Go, guys. But if it's Anthony Richardson, bet two safeties, and you'll never have to work
in the
again.
First quarter. So. Get a little crazy going the first quarter.
There you go, guys. Best of luck to you. But a big win here overseas for Michael Penix Jr. And then you got a long flight home. Bright side is it's the Carolina Panthers looking you back in the face. We got them taking game one against the Carolina Panthers. Do they complete the season sweep over Carolina?
Yeah, I think this is going to be, this is going to be a good little welcome home for the Atlanta Falcons here coming back, facing off Carolina. I think we had them by winning by 1 or 2 touchdowns last game, and I think I'm going to sit kind of in the similar ballpark here. I don't think we're going to see much improvement from Carolina from, week 5 we saw them first. And, yeah, week 3, excuse me. So I don't think we're going to see much difference from Carolina from early on in the season. I like Atlanta in this one, somewhere in the range of 28-14. That's where I'm kind of sitting. I think they'll put up some points here.
Okay. 28-14. That's yeah, dude. I really want to have a little bit of faith in Bryce Young. Like, I'm not going to be shocked if they win one of these 2 games. It would be obviously a letdown for the Falcons, but it won't be shocking because the Panthers do play relatively tight ball. They do surprise people a little bit here and there. They don't often get full swept by the Falcons as of late in their season double showdown. So I think it could be closer here in this one, maybe a little bit closer than the first game, but I do think they ultimately win. But I'm going to say like weirdly tight. Like, what are you doing? You're playing with fire. I'm going to go 27-24 Falcons here. And I do think they better be careful, Zach, because if they overlook this one, if they got a little jet lag, if they take a day off of practice, like, I don't know. I got a weird feeling. I think I'll be taking the Panthers and the points when the game rolls around, but Falcons
maybe
to win
thrown
it.
off sleep schedule a little bit. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
It's just a weird game. It's a weird game. It's the second time you've played them. You just don't know, right? So anyway, though, moving on through, guys, we got a pretty easy game here in week number 12, Sunday, November 23rd. A lot of people at the Sports Forum calling this the worst team in the NFL for the 2025 season. I guess only time will tell, but 4:25 p.m. got that midday window action at the New Orleans Saints. Probably Tyler Shaw is going to be the quarterback. I guess it could be Spencer Rattler if the Bros just having like the best year ever. But I kind of feel like this is where if things aren't going well, they've won 2 football games. They're starting to think drafting Arch Manning with the first overall pick. They want to see what they got in Tyler Shaw. So I'm going to assume I think he's the starter here in this one. Do you trust Michael Penix to go on the road here and handle business?
Yeah, I think this one, like you said, this should be one of the easier ones on the schedule for them here. And, maybe we'll see some good things from Shaw. I think he should be the quarterback for the Saints. I don't think Rattler's got it in the bag. I just don't see it with him. I think he maybe had 1 or 2 good years in college, and even then was pushing, he was just surrounded by some good teammates. That's what I really boil it down to. But anyways, go back to Tyler Shaw. I think we may see some, we may see some good things from him in the future. But this one, yeah, I got Atlanta in this one. I think they'll kind of maybe not so much run away with it a little bit, but I think Penix might find himself throwing close to 300, maybe a little bit more, maybe 2 touchdowns. Good fantasy game for him. I think passing game is really going to be where it's at here. I'd like Atlanta 30-13, I'll say. Leave him at 13.
All right. Give me 33. Yeah, 33-13. I like your 13. I think it's fair. You've given him 1 touchdown, maybe a couple kicks, maybe 2 touchdowns, missed PAT, but that's pretty much all you can count on for the New Orleans Saints here at this point in the season. So if it's Shaw, if it's his first, second, third game, I don't know. If it's the end of Rattler, who knows what it's going to be, but all I do know is it shouldn't be pretty. It doesn't really matter who's in at quarterback. So right there with you, a big time win here for the Atlanta Falcons, and hopefully some much needed momentum because they're going to need a big time push here as things end in the season. Sunday, November 30th, week 13, you go on the road to take on, I think, Justin Fields and the New York Jets, assuming him and his 3-year deal are still going well up there in New York. Tell you what, man, this could actually be a very interesting football game. I think these defenses are very similar. I think these quarterbacks are very similar. Yes, I would say that I think Michael Penix Jr. is probably a better passer than Justin Fields, but I think Fields is a better runner than him. So I think both defenses get tested here. I think both quarterbacks make mistakes here. I'm going to go ahead and throw out my score first, man. I got the Falcons, but I think they better be real careful. I'm going to go 24-23 Atlanta in this game, but I will not be shocked in the smallest bit if Justin Fields kind of has it's too late in the season to call it a coming out party, but for the sake of what you said on the last game, maybe a big fantasy game here for Justin Fields.
No, I'm kind of right there with you. I think kind of what it boils down to for me is who's going to help out these quarterbacks the most in terms of the run game. Mm-hmm. We got Breece Hall on the Jets, and we got Bijan Robinson with the Falcons. Two pretty solid running backs here. Now, who's going to be able to take more of the run game with themselves? I favor Bijan more so. I mean, the dude's a menace back there. He's so evasive. He nearly led the league in missed tackles last year. I mean, he can just run it right up your gut, run it around you, move side to side. He's very agile, and I think that's what it's going to boil down to in this one. And I favor Bijan Robinson over Breece Hall here. And I'm going to go Falcons with this one. I like somewhere 24-17 Falcons. But I think a couple mistakes maybe. Couple mistakes from Penix a little bit, like you said. I kind of agree with you about Fields maybe favoring him a little bit more so than Penix, but in terms of the run game, I think that could really help out the Falcons here in this one.
Fair. A much needed win here for the Atlanta Falcons, guys, coming out, heading into this final stretch of the season, and things start to get tough again. I feel like it's relatively fair to start. Then it's a really brutal early mid schedule. Then it's still a testing schedule as you get through the bye week. And then it gets real easy in here. And then you got to find a way to win some of these week 14, 15, 16, 17. You got to find a way. So here you go. You're back at home. Opening game of December, Sunday, December 7th. Seattle Seahawks, Mike McDonald, and that defense are coming to town here. This is going to be very interesting to see how Michael Penix Jr. handles pressure like this. Switches like this, defense is moving at the line consistently. But I think at this point, the dude's had plenty of time in the season. He should be starting to feel good about himself. In your opinion, do the Seattle Seahawks get the best of Michael Penix here on December 7th?
This is a tough one for me. I don't know.
Like, leave the Sam Darnold out for now. Just defense versus
defense-wise.
How does that go?
I think given this point of the season, we should expect, we saw some good things from Penix last year, and you'd expect by this point of the season have to have a good feel of your team. At this point, I have them on the schedule at 7-4. So looking like a playoff team here. And I'm going to favor Michael Penix because seeing what he could do last year a little bit, I think he can really find his ground here with this offense. And not so much worry about, a good defense. Yeah, absolutely. I think Seattle's got some good defense there. But I think if he can handle his own offense and be able to stick to their own game and not fall into Seattle so much and kind of stick within themselves, I think I favor Penix a little bit more here.
Man, this is a really tough game for me because I'm not a Sam Darnold guy. I do love the Seattle coaching. I don't know if the defense is going to put out the way that last year I felt like they were getting put in the right spots and they just weren't delivering. So I think, will he have his moments to make big plays? Yes, but I also think he's going to have to truly win this football game, and his legs are going to have to play a major factor in that whole shebang. So all that said here, Sam Darnold figured in, Michael Penix figured in. What is your score prediction? Does one of these two quarterbacks break the 30-point threshold in this game?
I got them right under 30. I'm sitting somewhere like a 27, 28. I don't think they're going to get to 30. I got 20. I'm going to go. I like a 27-17 Atlanta here.
Okay. I'm going to go 27-23, and I'm going to very generously give this game to the Atlanta Falcons because they need to win football games, and I haven't given them many breaks this season so far. I'm going to give them a break here, but this is a very losable football game, and if they're not careful, I promise you guys, they are going to lose this football game outright. It could get nasty, too. It could be like 38-17 Seattle Seahawks if they let a couple things slip by them. I am concerned about the defense. We'll see if Sam Darnold makes me pay, but I don't know if he can expose them to the level that guys like Josh Allen and some of these other quarterbacks should be able to do. So I'll join you. Falcons with a big time dub here, but now they got to get another one 4 days later when they find themselves on the road in Tampa Bay on Prime Video. Catch the concert after the game. Hopefully it's Luke Combs at this point because I'm getting tired of rappers. I don't know. But all that said, my man, 4 days later on the road in Tampa, you had the Falcons stealing the first one. I had them losing the first one. Do you got a sweep, or are we going to see a 1-1 chop?
I like Tampa here. Not just because of the quick turnaround, but, you know, I've mentioned this before. You're going into a very hostile place over at Tampa Bay. Those guys are good. Baker Mayfield. Yeah, Chris Godwin. Those guys are very good over there. Okay. Going into any place with a hostile environment is tough. Playing against a good team in a hostile environment is tough. You know, you've had kind of a couple gimme weeks, I'd say, with the Saints. You know, I have a feeling the Jets game is going to be more not as close, in my opinion, maybe favoring Atlanta more so. But, you know, haven't had too much of really good competition and playing in playoff atmospheres, I think is the best way to put it. And this is going to be closest to what it gets to playoff atmosphere. And it's going to be a rude awakening for Atlanta. I'm favoring Tampa Bay here. I don't think it's going to be relatively close, but I don't see them getting blown out. I like somewhere in the range of 24-10, 24-14, somewhere around there in favor of Tampa Bay.
See, I gave the first one to Tampa. Now we go on the road back to Tampa on a short week. You know what they tell you in short weeks, dude? You don't want to play Todd Bowles on a short week. Everybody in the NFL knows that. And so I painfully, and I might regret it, in week one, maybe they make me pay right there. But I think Atlanta got to win game one if they don't want to get swept. I'm right there with you. I got Tampa Bay in week number 15 here, Thursday night. My brother's birthday, by the way. Happy early birthday to the boy. But anyway, at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, man, I agree with you. And I actually think it gets ugly. I'm going to go 34-17 Tampa Bay here. I think it's a bad game for Michael Penix. One of his few bad games of the year. Yeah. I just think they get beat from the jump, and Tampa just never looks back. It just kind of feels like that kind of game. So we'll see what happens. But should be fun. It's a fun Thursday night football game if Atlanta shows up in any way, shape, or form.
High intensity, it's going to be high intensity for sure.
Yes, sir. Then you got another one. At least you get 10 days to prepare for it, but you got to get your butt on a plane, back on a plane, and head down to Glendale, Arizona to the Big Silver Toaster there and take on the Arizona Cardinals. Kyler Murray and company. I guess you guys got to go watch our show predictions for that one on our YouTube channel at the Sports Forum, because some of us have this team maybe going for a playoff run, and some of us think they're going to win 4 games. So is this going to be a Cardinals team in contention? I think at this point, they're at least still playing for something, whether it's Kyler playing for his job or playing for a playoff spot or coaches trying to keep their jobs. I don't know. I don't think this Arizona team rolls over here. How do you think Kyler Murray does against this defense, and how does Michael Penix do against that abysmal defense in Arizona?
No, I'm kind of with you there. I don't think this is a playoff team here in Arizona by any means, but I don't think it's the worst team in the league. They're not going to be at the bottom of the barrel. I think Kyler Murray, he's a very athletic guy. I've said this before. He's an athlete. He's not the best quarterback in the league right now. He's got a lot to figure out. I think a lot plays into IQ, kind of reading the defense a little bit, and it's just we haven't seen that from him. We haven't seen him come up clutch in these pressure situations. We talked about it on the previous shows. He just hasn't been that guy, you know, with 2 minutes who do you want the ball to have? First guy that comes to my mind, Tom Brady, right? We've all seen it, been there. Next guy, Patrick Mahomes. You guys got Josh Allen. Guys like that. He's not there. Kyler Murray's just not there. And I think Atlanta's stacked up against Arizona here. I like Atlanta a lot in this one. I just don't see Arizona hanging much in there with the Falcons. And I like Atlanta here. I like maybe a late touchdown by Arizona to pull within close, but I like somewhere in the range. I'm going to go 21-14 Atlanta.
Kyler Murray, maybe not the clutchest, maybe not the tallest, but the boy can ball. And I do think he definitely plays better in Arizona. But like you said, if it's a 2-minute drill, I'm a little concerned. He runs backwards more than he runs forwards. And so that does worry me a little bit here. But I think Kyler Murray, when I looked at the schedule, there's about 4 games that I think Kyler Murray breaks 300 passing, 3 touchdowns, looking really good. And this is one of the ones I had circled on their schedule. Now, I know I'm being a little bit optimistic with that prediction, but I just don't trust the Atlanta defense. And I think Kyler Murray is still a much better quarterback than anyone gives him credit for. You did give him some credit, said he's athletic, whatever. Guys like Bryson, they think the dude's a joke. They don't think he should be the starter in Arizona, and they just don't believe. And to be fair, based on his results, I can't blame anyone for saying that. But I think this guy has something to prove here. I think Arizona is actually in a win out the last 3 and they're in kind of situation. I really believe that. I don't know if they're going to do it, but I think they're in that situation. So I think the Falcons get caught sleeping here. This is kind of the dagger to the season on my schedule prediction where they can't lose this game and they do lose this game. I'm going to go Arizona Cardinals in one of the highest scoring games of the week. I'm going to go Cardinals 30, Cardinals 34, Falcons 30. Now, if Penix gets the ball with 2 minutes, he should score against this defense. But I just feel like Kyler gets the ball last, makes it happen, gets the win. So Arizona Cardinals for me, Falcons for Zach in this one. That's going to be one of the better games of the week, guys.
I'm going to mark that one for you.
Oh, yeah, of course. All right, we'll put some kind of side bet on it. We'll figure it out. But moving on through here, we got week number 17, little bit of an 8-day gap here, back at home, which is nice. Monday Night Football, a huge game for what we can all assume. Both of these teams going to be looking for a playoff picture spot. Los Angeles Rams come to town on December 29th on ESPN, 8:15 p.m. My man, let's just be real. They're going to win in week 18 against the Saints, who are going to lose because they want Arch Manning anyway. So this, to me, is the last game to circle. Do they beat the LA Rams, or does Matt Stafford come here, handle business, and punch his playoff ticket?
This is a tough one for me. I think for me, I've seen some trouble with Stafford on the road, and that does stick out to me a little bit. But like you said, I think week 17, I think that's another win for the Falcons. At this point on my schedule, I have them at, 9 wins, 10 wins?
Mm-hmm.
So, I think this is going to be a little bit more towards the Rams trying to compete for a playoff spot here. According to my schedule, I got them locked into playoffs. Like we said, week 17. I don't think it's going to be very close. I think Stafford may struggle a little bit. I think this one may be a closer game than it should be. But I think the Rams will walk away with this one, maybe 28-21. A little bit of a high-scoring game, but I don't see the need to put the starters all out there for Atlanta in this one. And I think I like it. I like the Rams here. I don't know, just on my schedule.
Yep,
that's where I'm at. That's where I'm sitting at.
So my problem is I actually have them at 8 wins coming into this football game here, and like I mentioned, you look at the last game there, guys. I'll be honest with you, that's a win. I think that's win number 9 is the Saints. So to me, is 9 wins going to get these guys in the playoffs? I guess it could, based on their division, maybe. But to me, this is the punch your ticket game. You're saying they've already punched. I don't think they've punched at this point. So I kind of think They need to win this one. Yeah, if you guys know anything about me, I don't like Matt Stafford. I don't think the Rams are a very good football team in general. But at the same time, this is a really bad spot, in my opinion, for the Atlanta Falcons to be in, based on my schedule prediction, coming off a really bad loss to the Arizona Cardinals. Looking ahead at the Saints, you got to win this one. Zach, I'll be honest with you, dog. Coming into the show, I had this as a loss. I had the Rams winning this game and kind of deathing the Falcons to fall just short with 9 wins. Dude, I don't think they're a 10-win football team. I really don't. But since I said they're going to lose to Arizona, I think I have to give them one. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like,
I get what you're saying.
I kind of, so like, I don't want to, because my hot take of this whole entire show was that these guys are not going to make the playoffs. And now I'm like countering that if I say win. But I'm going to say win because I got to stay real to it. So
I like it.
No, hang on. They can't stop the run of the Rams. They ain't stopping Puka.
Vontae Adams.
You see what I'm saying? You know what, dude? I got to stick with my guns. This is the heat of the moment. I can't change it now. I'll go Rams. This is the death. They have a chance against Arizona to make the playoffs. They don't do it. They have a chance against the Rams. They don't do it. Then they get some useless win, hoping that 4 teams tie and 7 teams lose, and da-da-da-da-da. Doesn't happen. And I think they fall short. Everyone goes, did they make a mistake? Should it? The first question we asked, should it have been Kirk Cousins? The answer is no. But I think they fall short. I got 9 wins for these guys. Let me just go ahead and zoom to the end here. So a win for you against the Saints. Where's that put your record at?
Yeah. That puts me at 11-6.
I can see that because I gave him a couple of really bad losses. To be fair, I mean, I have Tampa sweeping them. They're losing to the Cardinals. They're losing to the Patriots.
That's a tough one. Yeah,
here's the thing. They have actually, outside of the early bye week, followed by a couple murderous teams, they have a relatively easy schedule. I'm not going to say it's a top 5 easy schedule, but it's middle pack. Nothing tough about it. Really easy ending, in my opinion. So
I get it. Yeah.
I don't know, man. Okay, so then if you got 11, I got 9. You got them in the playoffs. I got them missing the playoffs unless 9 wins somehow get you in. So in that case, what's the floor? What's the ceiling? Is it fair to say 12, or would you go up to 13?
See, so I had them losing against the Patriots, and I think that could be one that goes either way.
I mean, the Patriots, the Bills, the Commanders, these are a lot of the 49ers. Like a lot of these could go. The Minnesota, you had Minnesota as a loss, right?
Yeah, I was going to say, I think not so much the Commander, maybe the Commanders a little bit for me, but I did have Minnesota giving the Falcons a loss, and I think that one could change. I think 13 could be the ceiling here because, I think that's going to be a close game. And with Minnesota and New England, either one of those falling in favor of Atlanta, that's a 13-win season right there in my book, how I have it.
Yep. Honestly, the more we look at it, and I'm actually giving Michael Penix a lot more credit that truly I think he actually deserves. I'm just not giving it to him because I'm not sold on the Falcons as a whole. Even down to the coaching, I'm not sold on Atlanta. So I'll agree with you. Things go right. They're clicking. Couple tight wins. Couple swag serves. Slater. Maybe these guys win 13 games. Now the floor, I said 8 or 9. Would you go 8? Would you go as low as 7? Assuming everyone's healthy.
I'd go as low as 7, yeah. Because like I said, I think some of these games are gonna be a little closer, and it could easily fall against Atlanta. Just how I said Minnesota and New England could fall in favor of Atlanta. Some of the other games could go against them as well. If they fall apart, they kind of they cost themselves some games. And yeah, I do think the floor could be 7 here. They were, I think, 8 and 9 in last year. So yeah, I don't think 7's too far off by any means.
This might be a crazy hot take, but guys, you gotta use your eyes before you judge what I'm saying. Look here. They might start 1-3. Okay? 1-4, 1-5. Call me crazy. 1-6, 1-7. Zach, there's a world.
It's not far.
So,
not far from the truth.
So you know what I mean? Like, there's every single game on this list, even the at Carolina Panthers. That's a tougher game than people are going to chalk it up to be. Like, they could lose every one of these games. They're either going to start 1-7, 7-1, or right middle of the pack, right around 4-3. They should be around 4-3. Truly, though, I have them 3-4 through the first 7. So I guess we'll see what happens. But my man, anything else you want to throw out there about the Atlanta Falcons before we get up out of here for the day?
Yeah, no, I think this really is going to go one of two ways for the Falcons this year. It's either going to be really good or it's going to be really bad. We could see them start the season with Kyle Pitts. We could not. If they started the season with him, that'd be better, and it'd probably favor, in my opinion, more towards my schedule. But that could factor in other ways that go against Atlanta. And so it's a shaky team. It's a shaky team judging it from our standpoint. And I think, Riggs, you had them at what? 9 wins, you said?
9-8 because they choke when it's all said and done. Yep.
Absolutely. I mean, we saw that from them last year. I mean, you're only giving them one more win than last year. I'm more in the hopeful stance saying I think that Penix improved a lot in terms of kind of gather his feet under his belt a little bit, moving in the next year with Kirk Cousins, hopeful, kind of playing the veteran card a little bit. Young team, Bijan Robinson, Drake London, all these guys. I mean, young guys. And they're only going to get better. We've seen good things from them. And I just am hopeful that these guys are going to get better. And this is going to be a good year, which could put Atlanta on the map for the next couple of years in the future.
I couldn't agree with you more. I'm right there with you. You're more in the belief, which I think most people are. And I'm more in the, I'm going to need to see it before I go buying in on it. Because the one thing I'll say about Michael Penix that I'll end on, the guy, got thrown into the role last year with Kirk. And even though things weren't going great with Kirk, which to be fair, it really wasn't until like his last 3 games that things actually didn't look great. But Michael Penix didn't do that many great things. Like, yeah, they won a couple games. Yeah, he had some moments. He wasn't Jaden Daniels out there. I mean, he wasn't throwing piss missiles. He had a couple nice balls, but like, he looked good to me. But did he look like a 13-win quarterback to me? I'm not there yet. And once again, my biggest thing is the defense. They're not going to be like Bengals bad or anything like that. But I think there's going to be games where Michael Penix does his job and puts up 30 points, puts up 27, 3 touchdowns, runs in for 1, and they lose. And if you lose those games, you're in trouble. You got to look in the mirror. You just mentioned the young team. I think next year, with a good draft in Pittsburgh, by the way, shout out, they are going to be very dangerous in 26. I think 2025, I'll agree with you. I think of right around 10 wins. That's probably fair. But I think 26, we could be talking like 12 wins, 13 wins, looking for a number 1 seed, like a real football team if everyone stays here and things are going well. So we'll see what happens, guys. But we're going to roll up out of here. This has been the Atlanta Falcons 2025 schedule and record predictions. One more time, guys, our YouTube channel at The Sports Forum. Do us a favor, click that subscribe button, drop a like, comment your record prediction for not just the Falcons, but we already got about 15 different shows up for you guys for our schedule predictions and many more to come here. We're only a week away from the very first preseason game, folks. So start getting your head in the football knowledge and start spinning. We got you guys covered. But until next time, Zach, myself, and this show one more time brought to you by our friends over at Thomas Adams Apparel. Appreciate them. ThomasAdamsApparel.com. Do yourself a favor and look better today. Go ahead and check out the site, guys. But until next time, my man, it's fun doing business with you. We'll see you guys in the next one.
Stuff.